morning and welcome to Eternity Speaks. I'm your host, Reverend Bill Eggleston. I hope everyone's had a great week and is doing well. Today, on this Memorial Day, I'd like to talk about the importance of remembering those who died for our freedom. Having served myself and having three of my own children serving now, this is a topic that really hits home for me. Everywhere we look this time of year, there are sales and cookouts and pool parties and mattress sales. I still haven't figured out what mattresses have to do with Memorial Day, but they sell a lot of them, I guess. The point is, everyone is happy and celebrating their long weekend, which is perfectly fine to do. You have the right to celebrate after all. But how many of us stop and think about the price that was paid for this long weekend? About all the service members who gave their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy every day. I personally have lost brothers and sisters that I served with, some to war abroad, some to personal wars here at home. For some, the war doesn't end on the battlefield. For some, it rages on in their minds for the rest of their days. The casualties of war don't end when the battle does. Veteran suicide rates tend to spike this time of year because we're all people too. You know, we go to the barbecues and we do everything, and just like everybody else does. We got the day off and all that, but it's a little different for us. We tends to mean a little more to us. We get thinking about the people that we knew and how we miss them and things we could have done different, and the last things we said to them, and a lot goes through our heads. It's rough for veterans this time of year, but it's important to remember that Veterans Day, or not Veterans Day. Well, Veterans Day is in November. That's Remember November. This weekend isn't for us. This is for the fallen. It's important to remember that Memorial Day isn't meant to be just a day off from work for parties and barbecues. It's meant to be a national day of remembrance for those that fought and died for our freedom. So if you're going to celebrate Memorial Day, why not make it a celebration of life for those who gave their lives for your right to celebrate in the first place? Check in on your veteran friends to see how we're doing. We may not be doing as well as you think we might be. Enjoy your barbecues and pool parties and sleep well on your new mattress. But never forget those who died for your freedom. Honor them this Memorial Day weekend. Say a prayer for them and for all veterans and their families. And thank God for their sacrifices. And please don't thank us veterans for our service this weekend. This isn't our day. Our day's in November. As veterans, we know and respect that. Save our thanks for Veterans Day. Honor our fallen brothers and sisters instead today. This is their time to be remembered. I know this particular message was kind of short today. It's kind of a somber day. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the show over to Barry and our spirit guest, Mother Teresa.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well spoken.
Thank you.
Especially in these days, a lot of the people don't realize the sacrifices that members of our armed forces have gone through. Clean back the Revolutionary War. I mean,
yeah,
we do so much. We do our show, channeling history, and we do a lot of. We've spoken with many of the military people and the sacrifices of people like Washington. All the guys that have fought through the different wars. Patton.
Yeah.
We've interviewed somebody from every World War, Revolutionary, Civil War. So the sacrifices that all those people went through are just beyond belief.
Yeah. Just the conditions that they had to fight in are so different. You know, the winters and they didn't have the technology that we do now to recover from things or to get in out of the cold, or they didn't have that back then.
No, it was unbelievable. Washington wasn't home for 8 years, basically.
Yeah.
I think he was at Mount Vernon for 2 weeks during that 8-year period. It's
Hmm.
just when you really look at the history of the sacrifices that men and women have gone through for this country, unbelievable. And I just get so irritated that they don't teach history in the schools anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they don't.
anyway, that's another lecture.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa is with us this morning. She's a wonderful soul. So we will just simply get started with her message.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. When I lived, I devoted my life to serving others. Now, I lived and worked near Calcutta, India, one of the most terrible places, the poor. It's just, as I think back to what I went through, I just often become very frustrated myself. I worked my life trying to help others. I brought many, many people to helping others as well. I founded an order of nuns that still help throughout the world. What most people don't understand is simply how many people need help. Now, obviously, there's still slum areas like Calcutta. You have areas in your own cities where people need huge amounts of help. Your politicians have ignored the inner cities. In many instances, there are people that are living on the street. Why, in a country as wealthy as the United States, do you still have people living in the streets? You should ask yourself that question. I know today is a sober day. This weekend, you should be celebrating those that have sacrificed in the past. As Barry said, the members of the military have done things through the years that are simply beyond your comprehension. They've suffered. Ask yourself if you could go through some of the things that they went through. I doubt it. They cherished freedom above it, their own comfort, above their family, above everything. If you give up your freedoms, that is an insult to what all these men and women have given up through the years. You should take time to visit military cemeteries. That'll give you an idea of what it's like to truly sacrifice. These men knew the possibility that they would die in serving their country. Those white crosses are the ones that have. Take time to visit. Go to Arlington if you're ever in the Washington area. It is one of the most sobering places that you will ever go in your lifetime. I am here on this weekend to speak about helping others. It is not just the poor that need help. As Bill was saying, there are many that have returned from war with mental injuries that you can't see or understand. If you haven't gone through the violence of war, you will never understand what these people have gone through. Many of them feel that they cannot get the images out of their head. They need help. Just as I dedicated myself to helping the poor, I would hope that there are many of you out there that would dedicate yourself to trying to bring understanding and help to members of the military that are still suffering. In most instances, you will never realize that. Strike up a conversation with an ex-military person. You'll be able to figure it out. Do what you can to help others. There are so many ways that you can do that today. Many religions have got charities that you can support. Do some research and see which are the best charities. Help others. As I said earlier, when I lived my life, I devoted it to helping others. The frustration that I felt was that there were so many people that needed help that I couldn't reach. That is why I tried to get others involved. Now, if you've listened to Barry's messages, you understand that helping others is very, very important. You've heard God talk about those with great wealth. Many of them don't use any of that wealth to help others. They have made that money and they plan to die with it, and they will die with it. God has told you on many different occasions that you leave the earth as you came to it. A newborn baby has no wealth, has no learning. When you leave this world and go to heaven, you will also find that you will have no wealth. What you will have is the record of your life. Your guides will know whether you helped others or not. Those that don't help others are not following their life plan. When individuals return to earth, they have a plan. I know you've heard this many times from Barry as well. That plan never includes evil, and that plan always includes helping others. Now, those others may be your family members. Do you have anyone in the family that is having trouble raising their family? There's an obvious place to start helping. Today, your world has many, many problems. When I lived, we had many problems as well. But it seems as though technologies have complicated your lives and created many more problems. There are many people that cannot afford to raise their families today. There have been a combination of things. You had a pandemic that was terrible. Many people lost their jobs. A lot of those jobs are never returning. Today, you're facing inflation. If you've been to the grocery store, you totally understand that you cannot purchase what you used to purchase for the same dollars. Inflation is a terrible enemy of people with lower incomes. If you cannot afford to buy gas to get to your job, you can't earn a living. Many people in government do not realize how inflation is destroying the lower and middle class of your country. Now, what it will do is it will increase dependence upon government subsidies. That's a bad thing. Think about the rugged individuals that fought to save this country. They didn't fight and die so that the government could support everyone. They fought for your freedoms. If you do not protect those freedoms, these poor individuals have died in vain. You need to understand that only through helping others will you be able to help yourself. Now think about that for a moment. When you help others, you are helping yourself. You will have a feeling that you never had before. When you truly help someone, you get this incredible warmth, this energy. You feel like you have truly accomplished something. Those of you with great wealth, you can ride in your luxury cars, or you can take time to be on your yachts. But what are you accomplishing? It is only through the act of helping others that you will truly feel an accomplishment that will carry with you when you pass. There are many people with great wealth that fear death because they're not going to be able to enjoy that wealth any longer. And that's the point. Use the wealth that you can spare to help others. You will feel so much better for it. Now, I know I'm repeating myself. There were times in life that I had doubts. I asked myself, why can God let these people suffer like this? It's a challenge for those people as it is a challenge for those that are capable of helping. Sometimes life plans have to include suffering. Now, I know that's hard to believe, but in order to advance, you have lessons that must be learned. Sometimes that type of suffering is part of the lesson. There are so many humans out there that need help today. Your technologies are leading people away from God. They're leading people away from his teachings, and they are leading them away from their life plans. There are many of you out there that think that the new technologies prove that God doesn't exist. Well, that's not true. Look around you. Look at all the miracles that he provided for you humans. You have oceans with fish in them. You have beautiful mountains. You have animals. Look at all the different life that's around you. You have a beautiful planet. And yes, your planet needs help as well because it's been abused for hundreds and hundreds of years. If you continue to abuse the planet, it is going to have a very, very adverse effect on human evolution. So you see, there are many, many places that you can help others. You can help the planet. You can help the poor. You can help everyone by electing officials that understand God. There's almost an infinite way that you can help others. Attend your public hearings. Tell them what's not right in government. Make sure that everyone understands that you are committed to helping others through serving God, through passing on his messages, and through living a good life that you were sent back to live. Today, I'm feeling very somber because of the holiday that you're celebrating. You see, I'm on the other side. So I see all those souls that sacrificed their lives. I speak with many of them over here. Many of them are frustrated as they look back to see what is taking place with their families, with their government, with their military, with the events in the world. People must understand that weapons of mass destruction create an incredible risk, and that risk will only increase in the future if people don't make sound decisions. When a country won't use its nuclear weapons simply because they're going to be destroyed if they do, think about that. Why should they have those weapons in the first place? As I look around from over here, I truly understand the need of helping others. The best way to help others is through following God's teachings. Take a first step. Tell others about the messages that you are hearing. Barry and Connie have devoted their lives to bringing you the messages of God. Take those messages and tell others. Yes, there will be people who think you're crazy. There will be people who think they need to repent themselves, but they don't. Listen to the messages. The messages will lead you where you need to go. I hope that I haven't bored you today. I thank you for allowing me to return. I dedicated my life to helping others. I hope you will do the same. Now, you don't have to spend your entire life. You need to raise a family. You need to be good to those friends of yours. You need to speak with them. You need to help them. Help as many as you can. Many of the senior citizens are very, very lonely. Take a day and just go and talk with them in the homes. There are so many things that you can do. There are an infinite number of ways to serve God. All you have to do is figure it out. So thank you for allowing me to come through today. I hope that maybe you'll put up with me again sometime in the future. I know that God is blessing all of you that are listening. I know that he has truly blessed all of the fallen. Goodbye, and thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Okay.
Yes, she's always a wonderful soul.
Yes. Yes.
Next week, John the Baptist wants to come back and he wants to speak. And I suspect he's going to be talking about new beginnings. That's just a suspicion I have, so we'll see how that holds out next week.
Okay.
So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I hope they reflect on all of those that have fallen to give us what we have today. So goodbye, and I'll be back next week.
There you have it. Another great message from Mother Teresa. She's always welcome. I hope she comes back again. So yeah, like we said, just make sure that if you're going to celebrate, just keep in mind the true meaning behind the day. That today's a day of remembrance of those that fought and died for our country and for our freedom. You can see all of our episodes of this show on YouTube and on Facebook on the page. You can reach out to us if you have questions or thoughts or just need to talk. We're always here for you. You just got to reach out. If you see like I was saying, this weekend is about the fallen. It's not necessarily about us veterans specifically. It's our days in November. So just remember the right people today. We understand. That's kind of how we feel as veterans. It's not our time. It's not our day. Our days in November. Remember those that have fallen and keep them in your thoughts today as you're celebrating and this weekend and tomorrow with your barbecues and everything that we're doing. So see you next week and God bless.